Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Fix your face.
No. I'm wearing this today because today is about farming in the Philippines.
Oh my God, is that why you wore that?
Hee-haw! Oh yeah.
You ain't farming no illegal plants.
We have some plant farming and some long pigs.
Okay, yeah, maybe. All right, as we let the room.
You didn't get that, babe?
It's better than being a monkey. Let me just get straight to it.
No, I'm not about the outfit.
No, I didn't get that's
Yeah,
why
I was
you
trying
wore
to
that
get into a
outfit.
theme here. I was like, planting trees and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into your
Yeah,
planting trees.
We were talking about an American Paul Bunyan. Paul Bunyan planting some trees.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Hey guys, how you guys doing today? Magandang umaga. Good morning to you, and good evening to everybody else too as well.
Good morning, good evening, and grab your drinks.
Yep. Oh yeah.
A lot of y'all will be rewatching this, so I'm gonna state right from the beginning, like we usually do, somewhere in the roundabout realm, that this is news articles, and we're gonna cover news today. We have sent out to a lot of our members that are on Patreon and our regular membership, the monthly membership. Correct. We sent some of the information and photos that we cannot put on today for multiple reasons. Okay. There was another American arrested. All we can say is it was illegal plants found in his house in Cebu. And we will go through that. So basically, I get that it's a story that some of you might have read. Some of these articles are not available in the U.S. Right now, they're going through the Philippines as of yesterday. We were going to wait and do our live Saturday and Sunday. We will do one today and then tomorrow. So we do have some good ones that we wanted to cover, but we're covering this first. Now, in saying that, again, if you guys want the news articles that we have and some of the laws that we have that we'll be discussing today, and I've got 5 or 6 articles, you would have to email us at philippineantics@gmail.com. Also, there is, of course, you have Facebook that we actually have also. So because of the sensitive subject, it's not like we're pushing it. We just can't use certain words today.
So guys, use your own discretionary, and also what I'm saying is use your common sense. We're not going to be outright blatant per se.
Well,
and we will try to refrain.
Trying to keep it PG-13.
Right, and we'll try to refrain on the people or person's names, because again, it's not.
Well, no, I'm gonna give the guy's name.
Oh, you are.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so and the reason being is we've had some people, just a few, probably about a half a dozen people that lately have been seeing where we talk about the subjects but not give names, and usually we don't. Like we gave Rafina's name out because she was a YouTuber; it was public information. This, especially today, is open public information, and he's got a Facebook.
This is actually blanketed all over.
Today is a lesson, and I don't mean that in like we're trying to school you. It's a topic that needs to be understood by more people, that if you come to the Philippines, you have to behave. If you guys come here to the Philippines, you have to follow the laws, and the U.S. and your government will not protect you because the laws that apply here stay here. Unless you have warrants overseas.
Actually, to make it worse, so a lot of people are not aware of this, but now I'm talking about the U.S. citizens here. I'm not talking about anybody else, because I don't know how UK and Australian laws. Be aware that U.S. laws follow you if you're a U.S. citizen.
Correct. So if you guys have warrants and outstanding stuff, or you guys are one of those guys that weren't supposed to leave the U.S. and then you get here, they're liable to bounce you out anyways. A lot of people think, okay, I had a felony years and years ago. Can I come in? It depends on what it is, and you can come and visit. But if there's certain felonies that are serious here, then the answer would be this no. Guy that was arrested in Cebu has really something really different. Went south on this guy, because they were collecting information on him for weeks. So before the arrest warrant came through in Cebu, weeks. And my guess is this guy was ratted out. We already discussed that the reason he probably went down was 3 reasons. Exes, allegedly maybe his current wife. It could have been the current wife's family. And the last would be the expat friends. So the articles have released a little bit more information if you research it. And I don't know if we want to say hello before we get into let the room build up. We'll say our quick hellos to everybody in the room and then start the article after that. But basically, we just wanted to let you guys know that we'll be touching on it. We won't be using specifics on what it is because of YouTube for 2 or 3 reasons. So we will say that the guy was found with illegal plants in the Philippines, and it is not medical here. And even if it was medical in the US and he tries to lay all those claims, it's not going to work either. And the crime is punishable up to termination. Termination, or God, the one for the plants is 20 years to termination. So minimal for having the plants that he did have illegal. It said 20 there. I have a list what the government is saying. So I have a website from an attorney and I went to the government's website and it said 20 years to termination. So that is, just got to behave, guys.
Yeah. Now, guys, again, thank you so much for being here. You guys are again a wonderful and intelligent audience. Again, I always said that most of our audience are very intelligent people. To give us some support, make sure you hit the like button, comment a lot, and also be aware that to show a sign of support, again, when your partner goes to sleep, put a wig on them and then put a fake beard on them, and then they surround your bed with hospital curtains. And then when you wake them up, you shake them really hard, like, wake up, wake up, wake up. And then when they wake up, you tell them that they've been in a coma for years.
How about I just spray Windex in your mouth and get right to the point?
Oh, actually, Windex tastes kind of.
What was that movie?
It has a weird taste.
What was that movie? Not taking him to the Greek. It was the Greek movie where the guy used Windex on everything. I forgot the name.
No, in My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yeah.
No.
He used it on everything, guys.
No, now don't take Windex orally, but it's actually palatable. But anyway, okay. Now we're gonna show you a photo of him and his partner. This is somewhat blurred out, so it's more for her protection than him. Now he's literally out in the media right now. He's blasted all over the place. So again,
and he has a Facebook page.
Now this is him and his partner. Again, this
is a little
is
blurred,
intentionally blurred out. Again, just to protect her identity, and that could be anybody right now. But it just shows that he's with somebody very young.
Well, no, he's married. That's his wife, allegedly.
I know that. But now, this is him on a clearer picture. Okay, so he's okay. Again, somewhat of an older gentleman. Again, unfortunately your age will not protect you. I mean, it will protect you to a certain degree depending on said crime. However, the problem is this is not an age-based infraction, as it were. Okay, so he's definitely within retirement age or past retirement.
Oh, he is. It says that he's actually lived here since 2007. Saying that his area is Cebu. 75-year-old William Lee Madison, a pensioner, which they'll mention. He's from Nebraska. I guess that's why George is wearing this silly old outfit. Living in a condominium. Was arrested on Wednesday, 11 o'clock at night. It appears that they've been watching him for weeks. And so they said they found 3 plants. Their value, I think, is way off. So I'm not going to give a value either. What?
Was it really 3 plants?
It looks like more to me than 3 plants.
That's what I was going to say.
It looked like more than that, but they're saying that they found a bunch of seedlings, plants, and everything else. It also said they confiscated an indoor growing kit and equipment, babe. I'm telling you, that is a lot of lights that are hanging over the top of it. So what I'm saying is that electric bill, I'm sorry, there isn't too many electricity-friendly lights that I'm staring at. I'm just letting you know, look, babe, he's got several of them gigantic ones. It requires high-powered lights to grow certain plants. So, anyways, so it says that the raid arrested the one individual, which is him, and it says here that, of course, he'll be facing Section 16, Article 2 of the Republic 9165 of the Comprehensive Dangerous Drug Act of 2002. And he is also in the cultivation or culture of the plants classified as a dangerous drug. So it says that he's staring at termination of life functions down to a range of a fine from 500,000 pesos to 10 million pesos. Okay. It says they've been watching him for 3 weeks. And another article actually stated that he already stated, which is a no-no, guys. He said he's been giving it to other foreigners. So right off the bat, he ratted people out, which anybody knows, you take on the crime on your own. But maybe I don't know, maybe he was nervous, maybe he was scared, but he said he had been giving it to foreigners, maybe hence the scales and everything else he had in his house. Very, very sad. 75. It says he's married, according to his Facebook page. He's married. That appears to be what was his wife. It's just, it's a lesson to be learned. So first off, we were watching Steve Johnson. Hi, Steve, Philippine Info Channel. And recently he was giving some excellent information out this week, earlier in the week. And I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah, that's going to lead to something. So basically, when you let people into your house that you don't know, when strangers are knocking on your door all the time, girlfriends are approaching you guys at the malls, on Walking Street, wherever, and you take them back to your place, they could be scoping. Or guys, don't even get me wrong, girls or guys. When strangers, you guys are in a third world country. If this was the U.S., I'd be treating it the same way right now. If you're in the U.S., or whether you're in the Philippines, you guys have to be. Yeah, you better get your German Shepherd. He's all over you right now. You would want to be careful, guys, because there was, I was reading on Steve Johnson's comment section where a guy had some kids knock on his door. And it made me think about the kids that we had over here, recently in the last month. And it made me really think about it. Even kids could be casing the joint. Even kids will case a joint and tell other neighborhood kids. And then you go out to the mall, come back, and your stuff is gone, guys. So in this case, there's dangers in even having friends with expats. Like I was telling George that this is why, and we could have a lot of expat friends. Believe me, we meet up with a lot of people. We're friendly people, but we kind of choose to keep to our personal side because of other expats that have had issues when they travel the world. This happened in Mexico. This happens here. This happens in Thailand. When you take on too many friends, some of those friends will become super, I hate to say it, babe, I have to say it, super needy. They need money for immigration. They need money to pay their bills. They're living on a smaller pension. And then in a case like this, let's say the guy denied to give them money or denied to give the family money. That is the first thing they're going to do is rat you out. Then I'm going to give you the scenario of the sad expat that's trying to make up for their entire life to compensate for something. The fancy car, the younger wife, buying a business like a bar on Walking Street, or buying expensive items or fancy vacations, and always bragging about their life, guys. And then when you do that, they're going to start watching you. They are going to start watching you. And then the first time you don't give all those friends you claim you have something, then they're just going to call somebody up and rat you out. They watched this guy for 3 weeks. And we keep hearing all the time, oh, I'm never going to get caught. A lot of people have that mentality when they get to Asia that nobody's going to catch them anymore. But they're on to these people. They've been arresting more and more people. And this past year alone, I've seen more arrests here and how they're actually now watching these foreigners now more than ever. And sadly, a lot of them are being caught through their own social media, their Facebook, their YouTube channels. They're just giving everything out. And I see how many of these guys will sit there and brag about what they have and how they do this and do that. And then boom, first person you usually have to worry about is another expat. Next in line would be a wife, girlfriend, or her family. At first, you're taking them out, you're buying them things, you're doing things. And then next thing you know, when you say no 3 years down the road, hate to say this, there's scorched earth here in the Philippines, just like there is back in the US, guys. A lot of people just seem to forget that Filipinos are human too. And when you combine that there's a lot of low incomes and hard to find work, and they don't have resources, they're going to think about that one resource that they know about. And this guy was pinned. He was pinned by, we actually can't even really say.
Right.
So
now again, to again reiterate and clarify what Heidi says. The problem is here is not a 75-year-old gentleman just using said substance for personal use.
Since '07, he's been here.
The thing is, I mean, nobody's that stupid. Meaning, AKA, whether it's I mean, the difference is honestly between a U.S. source and a Philippine source. Now, if a U.S. source says catch it, I mean, if said law enforcement caught you, they would say, well, we found. They're gonna put two and two together and put it out on the media, AKA meaning, well, we found some plastic bags and a scale, which shows intent to sell. That part is omitted on this article, but I'm pretty sure that said case that just happened again. The cops are be like, well, I know he's 75 and I know it's for personal use, but we also know that this guy is selling. He's what they call the source, you know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, regardless of age, you are not exempt by the law, meaning, I hate to say this, it's more of like, like a zip for here, depending on the judge too. Again, they might just, just saying, don't think that like, oh well, I'm an expat and I'm exempt. No, the law doesn't care about that.
Right. I want to actually also state what the actual legal ramifications that are coming off of the government sites and attorney sites here in the Philippines. And his situation is still going to get about the same thing as anything else. Also, for those that think CBD is okay and they show up with CBD in their suitcase, you can also go down for it.
CBD is classified as the real thing.
Right. So nothing, no hemp seed oil, nothing.
It's like Mexico. Mexico too. CBD and hemp, all that stuff. Throw it out before you visit the country.
Yes, and it's so what we actually have is that growing. Okay, it says the cultivation is, of course, illegal. Selling, cultivation, any of that. It says that you can be fined up to 10 million pesos for that. Okay, so he's probably looking at, it says life imprisonment or potential termination. It can start from 500,000 pesos to 10 million. And we're talking about, according to this, 10 grams of plant is enough. And I would have to say that's not, he definitely had more than that inside the house for sure. 10 grams. And the value, I think, so off, they were trying to say it was 1,200 pesos. But here's the thing. If you're down on Walking Street here in Angel City or other parts and someone tries to sell you something, the answer is just walk away, because they are going to try. Most of them are undercover cops. I don't care if it's a young kid or not. They pose. I would just walk away from anything that they say is illegal. Now, our expert's going to say that, yeah, I do it all the time. That's fine if you want to listen. I suggest that whatever you did in the U.S., you keep that in the U.S. or Australia or whatever country you come from. But 1,200 is for one cigarette here. Okay, so I don't know where they're getting a value that's all it was. I guess street value and what they're actually saying it is. But it says that also, if it's a lesser amount, under 5 grams, it'll be prison for 12 to 20 years. So let's say he's getting the lesser of the charge of he's looking at 12 to 20 years. But it could be down to termination. And a lot of people say, okay, well, that was a previous president and all that. But unfortunately, that still exists. That's kind of like that guy that was in Japan recently that was all out of control. Because this video is not just about this gentleman today.
Okay, you were talking about Johnny Somali.
Right. He acted a fool over there in Japan. but looks like he's doing an apology and it'll lessen his sentence. He'll probably be permanently banned. What was the final result on that? Do we know
Oh,
yet?
no. He made it's literally about a minute and 10-second public apology in Japanese. John Smiley made a public, again, apology to the Japanese people in Japanese. It's about 1 minute and 10 seconds long. Unfortunately, I'm not used to Japanese anymore. When I was a younger kid, I used to understand, but now no. So I don't even know what he's saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, he put out a public apology to the Japanese people.
Right. So you can't act up anywhere, and you definitely don't want to get caught with certain things in Thailand. Now, although they legalize medical over there, they haven't done it here. And in saying that, they are working on medical here of illegal plant. But it's going to be a while if they even do it. So they're trying to, that's medical, and it's going to be done by the government, allegedly. It's not going to be like it is in Thailand or other countries. But I believe Beverly said it right. If you guys want to do all those activities, do it in your country. Go where it is legal and go through. And there's a lot of things you're going to find here that will just blow your mind. I mean, I told George the other day there was a bunch of stuff going on outside, and I literally wanted to go outside and like have it out with the people for some of the stuff that was being done. And I was like, yeah, but you can't, because if you offend a Filipino as an American, they can go down, file a report, they can come and arrest you. That's the kind of up to the max they can do. A lot of them won't, though. Like George said, a lot of Filipinos will just take it with a stride. But when they know you're a YouTuber, when they know that you're a foreigner, they usually expect some sort of payment versus them going to the police. And then next thing you know, you could end up in an extortion. Not always, but you have to behave when you're here, because you don't want to be out in the mountains of Mindanao and then something goes south like that. You just never know where you're going to be.
Well, there's a lot of things that'll drive you nuts, and there are things that most Westerners don't even realize. Simple infractions, again, are not infractions. For instance, Heidi is talking about it, and we talked about it yesterday too. A perfect example would be when a car parks in front of your house. One, it's actually not parking in front of your property. Two, to make it worse, let's say a tricycle parks on your sidewalk. Be aware the sidewalk isn't yours. A lot of Westerners think the sidewalk belongs to them. It doesn't. 8 feet from the street to your property actually is not your. I'm talking about the Western law. What I'm saying is Filipinos will park in front of your house on a regular basis. That's if you don't have a sign that says "Don't park here."
Well, there's a lot of things that can set people
I'm
off.
just saying that's a simple and obvious example that a lot of people miss. That you're like, oh my gosh, why are they parking on the sidewalk?
There'll be things that test. Like yesterday, we seen where there's a public market and there's a guy with a brand new car up the street, and there were just motorcycles parked all along around his car, all along it. And then somebody jumped up on this motorcycle and was sitting there talking to another trike driver. And I'm watching this bike sway back and forth. And I'm like, if that bike hits that car, more than likely, neither Filipino is going to say anything to each other. But if that's an expat that watches his car get dinged, the paint gets scraped off, I'm pretty sure that expat's going to go out and have a word, with all the bikes that are parked around the car in his personal neighborhood.
No, I know. That's
so
what I mean.
There's going to be a difference in how we feel about
He's
things.
parked in the sidewalk and somebody parked on the street. But that's why I always say, when you purchase a vehicle here in the Philippines, it's not a question of if your vehicle is going to get hit. It's a question of when. Well,
here's the example. Like when you're in the United States, if the cars don't even belong in the neighborhood, you usually have some sort of ramification. If you live in a subdivision, usually if you don't want to maybe go as far as to call the police, but here you're going to find weird stuff like that all the time. If you're up on a main highway and everything, that's maybe a little different. But the cars that were surrounding this guy's car don't even live here in the neighborhood. They're not even visiting somebody. They're literally 4 blocks away going somewhere, and they're just parking in our subdivision neighborhood. And I'm like, and I watched them bike several too, almost hit this guy's car. And I'm like, that's insane. But you have to kind of hold it together or you can actually be sued. So
right. And again,
You guys, the cats are having a party
The
today.
problem you have is, again, I'm talking about you guys as an expat, per future expats. Be aware that you're the expat, and be aware also that depending on the person who damaged your vehicle, the probability of them being of the third world variety, meaning you can't get blood out of a terminal. That's what I'm getting into.
You
Now,
think that's a joke? Not here. It's not, Carl. He's saying that's what he got caught for was weed.
well, even in the West, what I'm saying is, depending, the problem we have here is not what's that word?
When in Rome, and those who have entered the country should learn some basic laws. I had to learn. I didn't even know that if somebody's at the grocery store and I say, "Hey, stupid, why did you just roll your cart over my foot and jump in line in front of me and then look at me nasty?" If you say that, that's enough that someone can go file something against you. Although they ran over your foot, no matter what the Filipino does, there are laws, and I have to give these examples because it's one of the first ones. But when in Rome, guys, it is very highly illegal in most Asian countries.
Now, I'm not a lawyer, okay? And what I'm getting at is the problem that I see in this particular instance is he did not lawyer up. The reason why I say this is because he told law enforcement that he gave it to his friends. Now, gave. If he lawyered up, the reason why I say he didn't lawyer up, if he lawyered up, the lawyer would probably say, "Shut the F up. Don't say anything." But he told the law enforcement agents that he gave
To friends.
to friends.
They're going to be
Now,
looking for those people, by the way.
when he said gave, remember, there are bags and a scale. If you give stuff to your friend, do you put it on a scale? Just saying.
It's in the photos.
Right.
But it's a big deal. I mean, it may seem today is not to fry this guy. Today's lesson is play with it if you want to, guys.
Well,
They will try to. There will be neighbors, there will be girlfriends, there will be your friends, expat friends, and police, other people that will try to set you up when you get in this country. The
right.
police officers make probably less than $10 a day here in the Philippines. And I just heard the other day in this city that there was another cop over a speeding ticket that had asked for money just to get around so the guy didn't have to take the ticket and do something about it. So it happens. We can't say who it is, okay? But it happens. So you have to watch yourself. It was like that for us in Mexico, guys. We ran into 2 instances where they tried that on us, and I just didn't do it
No, they
because
will.
they can
They'll
turn
try
around
you.
and say you did pay the bribe or tried to bribe
They'll try
them.
you.
So it's really, really messed up.
No, I know. No, we again. Now, what happened in Mexico? Be aware, we did not give them a bribe. We paid the ticket. There's a difference between the two. Because here's the thing: the moment you paid a bribe, now you did something wrong for sure. Miyagi says, "No, it's a small garden, Carl." So Miyagi, again, is aware of what's going on, and he's saying, "No, it's nothing small. It is a small garden." Yes. Miyagi
It's enough. Even the possession of 1 cigarette here is enough. And again, you're going to see parties and expats all day long doing it, and Filipinos. And kind of in your mind, it's kind of like you would see anywhere in the world. It's kind of like, hey, why not? You know, why not? But it's crazy. Even in the U.S. and areas that you're not allowed to, it's a big deal. Was it the basketball player that had the vape pen? Wasn't it CBD? Where was that at? Russia.
Oh well, I don't think it's CBD.
I believe it was.
Was it?
Yes. I don't even think it was a
THC.
Yeah. So I know that they finally traded the basketball player off, but that was Russia. And then you sit there and think about all the stuff that goes on in the Philippines, and everybody knows what the Philippines is like. Just read any articles about life in the Philippines, the government, who has been president, and go through all that. That's all we can say on that matter. And then you think about, oh, well, I've seen so-and-so do it. And I told George, I don't care who it is. I can think of about 20 or 30 people I might trust in this country. And even if I've seen those people doing these items, I'm not going to say, hey, let me see that. Because sorry, you can't trust. Only person you could trust is yourself. I don't even trust George. Oh, I mean, sorry. I mean, yeah, I trust you. Just don't hand me no cigarettes.
Well, I'm thinking about that for a second. If she was serious or not, the reason being is like, yeah, okay.
Well, hey, scorched earth. I didn't make George's eggs and bacon this morning. He might hand me a cigarette, and then next thing you know, I'm like up the creek.
Oh my gosh! Thanks for reminding me. Anyway, Carl says,
Are
"May
you
I get
making
low?
bacon?
I'm 73. Are they going to? What are they
Yes.
going to do to him? It's probably
He's in jail right now.
Well, well, no, I was meaning to interrupt you, sir. What I'm saying is, if there's anything that would save him from the gallows, as it were, is if because of his nationality. If there's anything that will save him.
but there are a bunch of them here. There's a bunch of them in jail. They don't care about age. They don't care about that in the U.S. I'm sorry.
Well, I said
Unless
gallows.
you're older, if you guys are older and have serious medical conditions, you might actually avoid something. But here, guys, they don't care.
You're not exempt.
And the U.S. Embassy will go and visit him in these jails. Now, there was that guy recently that everybody knows that was in jail over immigration, and he got in a fight with a few guys. They put him in a special detention center off the side of one of the jails that are here that was dealing with immigration. This guy is going to the jail because also, I don't know where your photos are. Do I just click on this other guy, add to stage? The photo of the other kid, just hit add stage. All right, I'm going to put this up for you guys. Alfonso is the last name of this guy. In 2019, it was an American that was arrested. Okay. And what it is somebody sent him a package, okay, that had 30 vials, liquid vials full of party favors, right? And when it arrived, they probably knew what it was because they scanned the packages and already knew the content. He came down to get it. They called him down there. And when he did sign for it and take the package, he was arrested based on that. The guy is, I believe, in his 30s now. This was done in 19. He came here to go to college and everything. And you can take the photo down. And all that was liquid. Okay. And he signed for it. Now, could he have claimed that? And he's still there, by the way. He's not been released. He's still actually there. And, oh, here, I was looking for where I wrote down. I can't find it. I had, is there one missing here? Oh, there it is. That's what I was looking for. Okay, on average, if someone is arrested here on sorted charges, they go to the jails. They just don't leave them somewhere, and they usually don't get bail. Usually, okay? Everybody's legal situation will be a little different. 600 days is average that they will hold you in detention, about 1.5 years. There are several cases that have still been sitting there for 16 years and have not seen a judge yet, okay? But in a foreign country, okay, including the Philippines, U.S. citizens, even if the laws are different, must and have to follow the laws, okay? So what this guy did will not be excused by the U.S. Embassy. They are not going to come, okay? And I'm sure we have a bunch of YouTube and Facebook attorneys in the room that'll say, oh, yeah, he'll get off. They'll send him home and all that, and that's all he'll get. No, guys, this was a serious deal. If it was so much so that they would have just arrested him from day one instead of watching him for 3 weeks to build these cases, including against the people that he just ratted out. And so he's, that's a long time to actually be sitting in a jail waiting to be seen. Now, will the embassy come down and talk to him and everything? This isn't just over immigration and an overstay. The guy has been here since 2007. He knew better. He was here during the previous president, and I won't even say his name out loud, and he knew it. The guy is not incompetent, and he can't play that card either. The guy was living his best life with his young, beautiful wife and got caught. And honestly, this is going to sound brutally harsh. I don't give a rat's tail. He's going to get it, guys. I can't feel sorry even at 75 if he's actually done the crime. He will do the time here, because although we have 2 or 3 subjects to cover, literally the next live stream I wanted to cover was going to be about the guys that come here and they do A, B, and C, and then they want a Crimea River situation over something that's happened like this. Now, a lot of people are like, well, Heidi, what if that was you and you did it? I'm going to get what I deserve. As a matter of fact, it's like, I'll take termination, please. You know, it is what it is, guys. Honestly, I know it seems for somebody, I am pro supporting the medical stance of illegal plants. I'm pro all of that. And I'm not going to deny it doesn't mean that where it's legal, you still have to follow the laws. That's where it comes down to. It was like the last guy that got in trouble that we were just talking about. The previous situation where he didn't follow the law, but
Now, the real problem you face, and unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because again, this is just not just portraying to the Philippines. What I'm getting at, there's this misconception of law enforcement, and again, this covers all countries. What I'm getting at is a lot of expats when they land here, because of their perception, keyword their perception, that law enforcement is incompetent. No, it's not. This is no different in the West. What I'm getting at is, for instance, an example would be if there's a purse snatching here in the Philippines and you report to law enforcement, all they're going to do is take a report and the end, pretty much. Guess what? In the US,
that would be my guess.
That would be the exact same thing. They would, again, just get a report. Now, let's go further down. Let's say a burglar, somebody broke into your house. Here in the Philippines, when a burglary happens to your house, what they're going to do? They're going to take in a report. And then guess what? After that, they're going to look into some leads, if any, and then after that, it goes cold. Guess what? In the US, no different. They're just going to get a report and follow any leads, and after that, it goes cold. It's not about the country. It's not about incompetence. Be aware, unless, again, it's a serious issue or matter, law enforcement anywhere in the world will not go further.
Which will bring me around to another thing. Tell me, because I'm probably going to sound silly because I don't use the word all the time. Where does nepotism, you said that's where someone's hired over. Does nepotism have anything, is that pertaining to law?
Because it does actually.
Okay,
nepotism
so is a big thing.
But that's also in the West.
It's where there's favoritism with relatives.
Correct.
And also rich people. Yeah, it's like that. But here, even more so, baby.
Right.
If let's say that possibly happened to somebody up there, they have arrested big people over these things. Okay. They just had a bunch of them recently. Okay. But what I'm saying is if money exists, it's not going to always get you out of things. And because you have relatives, when it comes down to this, it's not good, guys.
Well, nepotism and power, okay, there, because they go hand in hand. Nepotism and power go hand. Depends on which side you're on. Meaning, if you're, for example, like Miyagi says, and that's what Heidi says, disgruntled buyer. Honestly, we don't think so. We think, again, it's actually a quote-unquote family member or somebody who he personally knows report in because, for example, hey, bro, I need 10,000 pesos. Can you fork it over and help me out? And if he says no, they'll be like, hey, I know this guy. You know what I'm saying? Now, the nepotism thing, or power, as it were, that can go either the guy who he pissed off, either he has the
somebody in power
and called somebody, or
and a lot of Filipinos do know
it goes
somebody.
Both ways. So what I'm saying is, he doesn't know anybody within power to stop it.
And you got to watch that. You never know. You know, like I said, we wouldn't have guessed that 3 houses down, there's a big figure over all of Pampanga living in our neighborhood. You know, I might have thrown a cupcake at him 3-4 months ago and not realized it was somebody of power. He didn't, to me, look like he had any power. You just never know who you're dealing with in the Philippines. Will Smith said here further down, Thailand 5 years ago, you'd have to go a long time for Mary Jane. Even termination, there wasn't enough. But of course, it's legal now. Then we turn around and, like you said, Mary Jane or illegal weed in Singapore is a serious crime.
That's ex-nade. You're done. You're done.
Right. So it's, you know, it says now there is even Mary Jane shops in 7-Elevens or something, probably in Thailand. And they are looking to do that here in the Philippines, but it's not here yet. It's kind of like the US. It's not there in a lot of the states. So therefore, if you're caught, you could do X amount of time. But there's the biggest lesson for people to learn here is you're not above the law.
You're not above the law.
As an American, especially. I don't know how many American men, and I'm going to say men, that feel they're so entitled. They get these big lives. They become, big this and big that. And then some of them are all over social media, like I said. And then like this guy, I just don't get it. He got, oh my God, I just can't even begin to, I just think they get too comfortable in their skin. But the fact, I mean, honestly, with me personally, I wouldn't even told George. I'd have been like hiding that in a coffee can as it grew or something. I wouldn't have said nothing, man. I mean,
love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's